this is a regular ranked game, so I guess it's fine.
Yeah.
I guess you can.
I
you can tell us if you're calling something.
Yeah, I just VOD record for Teams, so I have to mute my mic and my software.
Okay, I see.
Or else there's just like weird static.
Good shit, and I guess I can send you this link as well. So you see what we see. Okay, no worries, dude. It's the only thing I need before I can join the team. Ah, okay. Yeah, no problem, Archer. Oh wait, have you already sent me a bot?
Switch obviously it's not working, but yeah, like I said, I can't play games.
Bro, this spot is so bad.
Because I have no sub bots at the moment, but I do have a lot of like regular bots. I think there are like 10 in queue at the moment.
No,
1, 2,
well, what
3,
is better
4,
for
5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
for
10,
point.
11, 12. Shit, okay, 12. There are a lot.
They got
It's gonna take a while.
Genji.
Okay, so now I missed what the fuck we're doing. We're going up to the high ground, we're playing Torb, Ana, Monkey, Diva. And what the hell is that? Is that a Junkrat? No, Soldier. What the fuck is this?
Pretty sure it's a Junkrat. If this is a VOD that I don't think so. I remember we had a Junkrat on this map. This is the VOD I'm thinking of. I don't know, it is a Genji.
I have no clue what that is. I can't see the pixels.
He's talking in voice chat, dude. If you look up.
Oh,
Yeah.
was he? Oh, it's a Genji. Oh, okay. Never mind then. Okay, so we have dive then, pretty much. Dive with the Torb. So I guess already there's nothing wrong with standing here together with your tank, so you can have the harmony on them. Usually there's gonna be a very small skirmish right here, and since as usual we are talking about how important it is for trans to get up online as soon as possible. You do want to be part of this, so a harmony orbing your monkey, getting maybe 1 or 2 shots in, forcing them off the high ground, and then usually nothing happens out of this, but at least you can get a little bit of ult charge.
Mid. Heals. Thank you. McCree by
Okay, so
himself.
almost died to the Widowmaker.
McCree dead. Any help? Okay. Even.
Oh, hey, Gulanka. Ice cream is life, indeed.
Close enough.
Okay.
They have a widow on glove. Who's glove? Oh, glove. Sorry. Okay, no.
Oh, glove.
Yo, chill. I heard glove. Sorry. Chill. Jesus Christ.
Look, you're gonna jump.
So far, insanely defensive positioning. You are not getting a lot of value out of your kit at all. Yes, you are safe, but you're also losing pretty hard. So sometimes you do need to trade that safety for getting a lot of, or a bit more value, and that's a very fine line. It is a fine line, knowing how far you can go and what you can do, but that's how you get better at the hero or the character and the game in general. You need to like test your limits and see how far you can go to get as much value as possible. Like, how would you have played this fight now that we know that they're playing a dive on the enemy team as well, but with a McCree? I think that's the only difference. Do you have anything to say, Slay, about how you played this first point?
Playing high grounds is very good. Playing low ground is not very good. Dropping to low ground, like there's not really anything pressing like you off the high ground. Like this high ground out here is fucking amazing. You get to see what's going on with the payload. Even holding like rotating to the other high ground behind you is amazing as well. Because like this sidelines you have that high ground together with your Ana is insane. Like you are able to peel for your Ana is able to peel for you, and generally you're gonna get a lot of value from that high ground. But just staying on this high ground is gonna favor you a lot, since you have so many dive characters. So you being able to opt the Genji who's doing stuff in their backline, able to discard maybe the Widow, trying to. I saw you going for like right clicks on the widow. You can like do the crouch tech with your right click, and you can like bait out widow missing, which is gonna be nice because like your head being in the floor is gonna be unpredictable.
I guess we can
we-
show that. Let's go into a custom game. It's hard to visualize it.
Yeah, I'll join. I'll show how I'll go widow.
The only
Yeah.
reason why I disengaged like at the forklift was because their monkey got nanoed and I didn't have my monkey and my diva was low, so I just hid because I knew their
Yeah.
monkey was probably gonna jump me.
Yeah, but before the fight, you are on the low ground. That's the thing. 'Cause,
Yeah,
like, your Ana
you
also
dropped
dropped.
really early. Let's see here. Slay. Fight. So yeah, Zen has a really weird hitbox thing. I guess you should be picking Zen, so we get to see it from the Zen's perspective here on the stream. It looks really weird when he charges up right click and releases the volley. You can like he does this weird like animation where he ducks his head down a little bit, and if you crouch at the same time as you release your right click volley, his head goes even lower. So do a normal right click.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, just a normal right click. He ducks down a little bit, so your aim is still, it can still be a hit, but that's with the duck. If you hold crouch at the same time, his head goes so much lower that you can definitely try to bait out a widow headshot and win the duel that way. It is a very useful tech against good widow makers because they will always be aiming at the head. And it's actually insane how much his head hitbox lowers itself.
Yeah, I didn't realize how far it dropped.
Yeah.
It's like crazy.
It is a
Yeah,
pretty
it's nice.
obscure Zen mechanic, but it is insanely useful.
So, like,
Always
Jacob
crouching.
clicking right click against like a widow doing this is like insane. You can even miss like a few shots, but the widow is not gonna be able to hit you. It's like here, for example, behind the blue box, the widow jumps on top of that, and she's gonna get pressured out. Like you hitting 1 or 2 shots in the widow with like a right click is gonna be so punishing.
Yep.
Also, just getting the Discord on the widow and calling it is gonna be amazing as well.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah,
Put
I've gotten
myself
pretty
as
good about calling my
Templar.
discords. That's most of what I call whenever my voice chat thing lights up.
Okay, awesome, Archer. Have a good night, my friend. I'll get to it as soon as possible. But let's see here. Yeah. So after the like initial engagement here, where this little skirmish happens up here, everybody gets low to the Widowmaker. We almost feed as well by holding a little bit too much to the right. But there's actually nobody pressuring you directly. So you dropping here actually puts your team in a pretty weird position, and especially since they are fighting over here. So holding up there at the start with your team would give you a little bit of ult charge. You would maybe be like around 25. Maybe if you hit a headshot or two, even further into your trance. And then you would also be standing up on this high ground together with your team. So that would have allowed you to have Harmony Orb on someone. You haven't had Harmony on anyone for a long time here.
The only reason why I'm playing so ridiculously passive is because I played with this widow like 2 games before this, and this widow is actually pretty good.
Ah, okay,
So
I see.
I just paid more respect.
I
But the
see.
thing
I see.
is, on this high ground where Jojo said you could hold like this on this left high ground up here, like the widow can do even less because you have this like big blue box over here, where if the widow goes on like the bubble, you can go like behind here and the widow can't do anything, and you can still like orb your Genji who's flanking here because your Genji was flanking around here and stuff. Like having the orb on the Genji without being able to get shot by the widow is gonna be nice. Because you can throw in like discourse as well, like the widow with Jiggle peeking, and Jiggle peeking here is like amazing because there's already like the Genji focusing her and stuff from the left, so the widow's gonna get overwhelmed, gonna fall down. So you're gonna deny the space, which is gonna be cool, very epic.
Yep.
Listen out.
It's like here,
They have a
gonna get a
widow.
value, Ana drops, and you follow, and then we are like
Who's glove?
in a worse position.
Oh, glove. Sorry.
Yeah, so usually what you do as the second fight, if you're playing against dive, you probably want to try and control the server room. So you have your Ana and your Zen positioned over here, because the reason number one is that it keeps you safe from like any kind of sniper. Even if they take control over a blue box, you're still gonna be safe in here, and it also keeps you a little bit safer from an all-in dive because you have the 200 HP mega health pack to fall back on. And help you win. To be honest, like a Zen and Ana can easily win a 2 versus 2 if they only get dived by like Winston D.Va in here. With the help of the health pack and pocketing each other, they can definitely win that trade.
Okay, no,
Yeah, so this forklift position, I don't really like it that much. Because your tanks are still alive, your D.Va is still up here, so you have control over this little high ground area here, and they're still pushing the payload. So there's no real immediate threat.
He's gonna jump.
And we're all dead.
He's weak.
Also weak.
Staggered a little bit too.
Where is main? Where is main? Who's
Okay, so what else do we have? We have Torb and Nano, soon Transbomb, Primal. We have pretty much everything. They only use Nano though, so there are a few things to think of here. What would you slay? Or what would you say? Fuck. Slay. What would you slay? What would you say?
Watch out for the fucking blade. No? Just save transfer blade and then watch positioning and like the high ground. Because the monkey is gonna try to force your trans, and if he forces your trans, you're gonna be in a worse position. Because then they have 3 blade. Since they have nano, they don't have nano blade. So that's good for you, and you nearly like you have nano prime or nano monkey as well coming up. So like you transing the blade is gonna make this fight a winner. Like it's gonna be a win if the widow doesn't get a pick, like a 2 before the fight. So like playing safe on the high ground, the top right, where the widow can shoot you. So widow's gonna play on like the top left or on like the top right. So playing like it's called in the plane or the mega, but maybe not the mega is not the best since they're playing dive. You can corner it really easily, but like positioning here is gonna be number 1 key for not like for the turns not to get forced.
Yep, playing
Basically.
Zen in Watchpoint Gibraltar is actually really fucking difficult because you have no real safe places to stand, and if they are utilizing positioning correctly and going for you, you're gonna have a lot of suboptimal trances forced out of you.
Yes, and I hate this as well. It's a bad map. It's the worst map to play Zen on. Too much high ground. Playing Mercy is also fine. Yeah.
Okay, so we're taking the safe option again. So this way we are 100% safe from like snipers and shit, unless you walk out. But we're once again gonna have very little value in the team fight. So no harmony on our teammates going in, no discord on the targets that they are actually attacking. Huge right click on the McCree though. And with the help of the Nano Monkey, we clean up pretty good. When Zen is your favorite hero and Watchpoint is your favorite map, Pepe Hands. Yeah.
Then you have to be like.
I usually play Ana on this map, but this other guy yoinked Ana for me, and I was kind of sad about it.
Unlucky.
Yeah, Ana's positioning is like completely the same as Zenyatta's in this map, basically. There's
Yeah.
not much you can do. Fucking flex support in this map is fucking hell, believe me. Gets even worse.
Our Ana had some really bad positioning there. Your positioning was actually fine.
No, I think you can keep fighting.
Generally, like,
I'm calling for people to get out, and then our monkey just completely kills everyone.
Oh, okay. He just kills
Yeah,
all
our
those
monkey kills
supports.
3 people.
Yeah, but it's not a value trade. Like feeding 1k HP and you're like staggering is not good.
Yeah.
What
Okay,
the
okay.
fuck is
It's now
this guy?
the
What was
ultimate.
he
Your
doing?
top is
Got me
insane.
so hard though.
Viva,
And just staggering
I'm
in.
back joining you. Now I'm a crew week and I ain't sick.
Look, it looks fine though. It looks
Resi,
fine though.
resi.
They were scared.
I'm coming back with 9.
Oh, monkey
They
top,
also
monkey top
fucking
is
trickled
big.
and then died to the turret.
Trap you, trap
So
you,
it's
trap you,
fine.
trap you. Diva out of mech. Diva out
Okay,
of mech.
we react real fast to the angry Japanese man, which is good.
Yeah, I tried to earlier for speed. I'd usually hold on to it for
Yeah,
like
no,
5 seconds,
it was
but I
fine to
needed
trans
get
that
over
early. Like as soon as you hear the actual ult being popped, it was actually fine to trans that early because they were already critical, and it is actual possibility that he manages to with the nano, like the slash dash is a lot of damage, and he can definitely one shot people if you aren't fast. But that was absolutely fine. So what you can do during this downtime is to pick up some better positioning. You're gonna be able to pressure them right here. So if we go back a little bit, so as soon as you kill the Genji here, and everybody survives the high noon, still high nooning, okay. Now it's done. So now we want to get good positioning. So what is good positioning in this map? I would say, in general, you want to have the Zen and the Ana, yeah, somewhere around spaceship up here, so that you have access to the mini health pack. You can hide in here in case they have like snipers or people contesting you. But in general, you want to be standing on this platform that's marked right here, so that you get the juicy sightlines onto the doors, because they can only exit through these very small doors at the end of the point, and you want to be able to put as much pressure as possible on them as they're exiting these doors. If you're holding the right spots and dealing the damage required to put a lot of pressure on them when they're walking through the doors, they will have huge issues just walking out. They're gonna be forced to like pop speed boost. They're gonna be forced to pop like trance or maybe even beat just to get through the choke.
This is even worse if you don't have it and you're playing like Zenyatta. Like this is even worse. Like this is why Gibraltar is such a snowballing map. That getting through second point is really annoying. But if they don't hold the chokes, you get in for free. But if they hold it, it's like the worst thing in the world.
Yep. Usually you're gonna be forced to use trance just to get through the chokes from a team that
Yes.
holds it correctly, and then you don't have trance for the actual ultimate that they're gonna use later.
Especially with dive, because dive can like.
I have a
Jump on you.
question.
Okay.
So if I'm, can you pause it here?
Yeah.
If I'm Ana, can I hold up on that like area so I can throw a nade as they're coming into the door, or is that too greedy?
That's
You can do it from the spaceship.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it at all.
It's
Like,
it's too greedy to stand over here because you get kind of the same value from this platform.
No, you get the same value though, but it's like
Yeah.
you get the same sidelines, but
it's a little bit of a
is so
surprise
long
factor though if you're standing here and you drop it from above. The issue is that if you do that, they have the opportunity to just take like 2 steps back and wait for it to end. So yeah.
The only issue I have whenever I'm on here is that I'll throw a nade and then in Diva we usually eat it. Because
then you just
really
need to pay a little bit more attention about the Diva defense matrix, because if you're holding these angles correctly and you're spamming damage into the chokes, she should be forced to just DM the spam damage. If she doesn't, you're probably going to deal a lot of damage and just force them back with pure damage. So you can just sit there scoped, or maybe not scoped if they have a Widow peeking you, but like sit there and just pump out damage. If you have an Ana and a Zen pumping out damage into the chokes, they are going to be forced to DM eventually to sustain or to like mitigate the damage, and that's your time to shine with the anti-nades. And you can also try to be sneaky by hitting like walls or maybe like the boxes or something on the side behind them, so it's a little bit more difficult for the Diva to eat it. And let's see here. There's another question. I have a comeback. What files do you accept? Well, just a YouTube clip or a Twitch VOD is fine. I'm not sure what you mean with files, but YouTube or Twitch. And like at least around 720p and 30 FPS. Otherwise, it's gonna be a little bit yikes to look at.
Nice. Take a bit. One, she's one.
Okay.
Top right. Baby Diva. Top right, Baby Diva.
Okay, we are moving up. This is good.
The easiest way, by the way, to get the tiger is using the forklift. This is gonna be very nice.
Yep. So
If you know what I mean.
The stairs that are behind the airplane.
No,
over there.
no, just a forklift. You can like jump on top of the forklift and you do it like insanely fast. You can get this high ground in 2 seconds. If you know what I mean, Jojo.
I'm not sure I know what you mean. Oh yeah. No, I know what you mean. Okay,
Forklift
yeah,
over here.
yeah. The forklift
Yeah.
over here. Yeah, you can jump on it. That's actually true.
And it's gonna help you a
Did
lot.
not know. I
Like,
thought it was too high.
Yeah, and you also get here on the safe side, so like you can't even get sniped or anything while you're doing it, which is
like
another
instead
added.
of walking up the stairs, like taking the stairs takes 5 seconds more.
Yeah, you can take
then, like-
these stairs over here as well. It isn't that much of a difference.
Yeah. I don't think so. It takes like longer, and then in the meanwhile, like have people all dead scolded if the fight is gonna
One,
like
she's one.
occur randomly. I
Yeah,
think it's just
yeah.
like really nice.
Yeah, there's no downside to taking a shortcut if it's there.
I'm just saying it because it's like a really easy way. So I see you walking up this high ground. It takes like way longer.
Yep. And when you're standing on these high grounds, you usually don't want to stand like where you're standing right now, because if any kind of dangerous thing is gonna peek you, you have a very long distance both ways until you're safe. So you always want to try and stay as close as possible to corners and or like health packs and your other support, so that you can be safe. So try to stay around this area if you want to have the mini health pack, or around this area so you have the mega.
Yep.
But the mini is usually a bit more safe, because if they dive and take control over like this platform here, you're kind of stuck inside of the mega room, and you have nowhere else to go. So you have to take the fight head on. But with the mini and with the airplane, you can still disengage towards the other part of the high ground behind the plane.
Trying to gun me. Good shit, dude. Good shit. On our Genji. Yeah, let's go.
Also gives you like a
I'm
easier
spamming,
angle
I'm
down to
spamming,
the
I'm
left.
spamming.
Gives you like both sidelines on the chokes,
Monkey weak.
which is very good. Which is all you want. So you spam them.
Diva, yep.
The transom.
Who did it?
Thanks a lot.
Diva,
This
yeah,
Nano.
I got
Okay.
trap on
Oh,
point.
good job.
Hanzo by himself.
Unlucky.
Hanzo by himself, like by the mini on the right.
Yeah, I was running away from the nano boosted diva.
Yeah, you should be fine though up there. If you only want to drop if you're actually getting contested. So if the diva decides to boost at you, that way you trade something for it. So the diva is forced to trade her boosters to get the high ground control. But now you just give it away for free, so she can use her boosters for something else. So you want to limit the options that the enemy team has to use. So if they are forced to force you off the high ground, instead of you just giving it up for free, you're at least getting something out of the enemy team. So it's a very small difference, but it makes all the difference in the actual team fight. This Ana really needs to work on standing closer to it. Okay, transing to sustain. We lost our Ana, so
Help me. Oh, thank you.
so what do you think of the trans? What would you have done in this situation, Slay?
Play back real quick.
I'm
Wanna
gonna
see it
play
again?
back. Oh shit, that was too far.
Once they start pushing
Let's
forward.
see it again.
I'm spamming left door.
So we dodged the bomb, but the Ana is not fast enough.
I got monkey.
We farm the trans on the trapped monkey who pops primal. And we pop it to sustain the monkey.
Help me. Oh,
And then we help our Power junk. But he jumps straight into a dragon and feeds.
Get him back.
I think it's
I
lost.
got
Back out.
I actually don't know. I don't think it's way too sudden. The monkey doesn't anticipate the trend, so he just fucking jumps in like a mongoloid.
I think we gotta
Like
shield here.
any
Perfect.
low ASR people, just they take like support ults and they try to utilize them, but they overextend and fucking in. So like
Yep.
calling the trends would be better. Like I'm gonna
Monkey
sense
top right.
potentially have monkey. It's 2 sec. Like then the monkey isn't gonna jump in. The like feed you can like soft reset. You maybe are gonna be able to win the fight. But the monkey shouldn't
Pretty
even
sure
be
I
there.
called I almost have trance, but I guess I could have been more specific.
Like
Yeah, you
people,
want to try to time your like if you're gonna do some kind of aggressive trance or a sustaining trance where you want to snap back onto them and like start getting some kind of value out of your trance aggressively, a small just warning to your teammates beforehand can make all the difference in the world. Like it's actually insane how just a 2-second heads up will make all of your teammates, like they're gonna save cooldowns, they're gonna be ready, and as soon as you pop that trance, they're all gonna go in and they know that they're unkillable for a few seconds, and they're gonna like push way harder than if they like imagine if you're super low, you're like, oh shit, I need to go back, and maybe you even use a cooldown to like keep yourself alive, and then suddenly there's a trance next to you and you're like, oh shit. And then, fuck, we need to do something with this trance, otherwise we're gonna lose, and then you overcommit more often than not. So that's what Slay meant with most tanks. If they get nanoed or if they get tranced without, or any kind of support ultimate without any kind of warning, they usually overcommit and feed instead. Because they...
especially,
Yeah,
especially.
correct.
Oh yes, like call nanos, no matter what.
I've gotten better about that now that I've been playing Ana for longer, because I think this is like the second time I've ever played Zen in this elo. But I've been calling like, Ryan, you can play more aggressive, I have nano for you, and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good. Keep doing that. And same thing with your Genjis, with your Winstons. Like every time you're gonna nano them before a fight, always call that shit out.
This VOD's from a little while ago, so
Okay.
some things I've already picked up on and fixed, like the communication.
That's good. That's good. So we lost our monkey. This is a full reset. Hopefully we don't feed anymore. We feed more. We bomb. No.
Nano though, I think.
Also left.
No.
Guys.
Kill him that ball.
Monster.
They don't monkey, they don't monkey.
And then we
Gold
feed
is-
even more.
Gold is something for itself, but master is also a will that for some.
So we completely threw last point.
We
Oh,
nanoed
wait.
the primal monkey.
Nice,
We're
nice.
actually doing it.
Call targets, Hanzo 1. Diva, they
And
did
that
Fred, they
was
monkey.
fucking horrible. That's
Yeah.
actually great.
Face it is.
Yeah, do not right click when you have red people in front of you. Unless you're waiting for some kind of cooldown that they're using. You wanna output that
I wanted
DPS.
to try and right click the Diva when she was resuiting, but
Diva's still there, Mega.
for whatever reason I'm just dumb and flicked for no reason.
Perfect, good ult.
I got McCree.
The only moments like you
Right,
right
right,
click
right.
is when you're like going behind corners,
Come down,
trying to spam damage. Right click.
Yes.
Then they all use right click for. Not bad chance.
Yeah, that was a good trance. And a good target priority after it. Like the McCree is definitely high priority target.
Oh fuck. Oh, there you go.
Let me see, get the orbs in for shooting, because the top could have died.
Yeah, that was really close. Nice. Headshot melee.
What a shot, what a shot.
Jojo, how about a swap to Widowmaker at this point? I feel like it could do some serious work. Yeah, so Widowmaker is very good on Watchpoint, but maybe not if you're the support.
Nano monkey?
No, because so Iran and this is not big.
No, Dino, you have not been reviewed yet. I'm gonna go ahead and do yours after this one, unless the spooky dude, no, stocky parrot.
Bro, my aim used to be so fucking bad. What?
Okay, nice. That was actually pretty decent. Let's see your attack. What team comp are we gonna get? Widow Torb dive. Okay. So same thing as we had on defense, pretty much.
Mercy or Ana. Yes. That's the reason.
I love when my off support goes Widow. Yeah. Who needs healers?
Well, Zen is a DPS with heal abilities, so
Yeah. Zen is actually just another DPS hero, but his utility is actually amazing.
I can show
Yeah, this
you.
is a meme, by the way. This is.
Okay. Soldier can heal. When do you think is a good time to pick Doomfist? Doomfist is actually pretty good right now, unless you're playing against Bunker. If you're playing against Bunker, never fucking pick Doomfist.
Whenever your team's fucking throwing and you need something to play.
Yeah, kind of. But like Doomfist is actually really good right now, unless you're playing against a very like smart Sombra that constantly plays defensive around their supports and hacks you every time you try to do anything. You can probably yeah from
the case, like the biggest pain of the ass when you play Doom is actually crazy.
yeah. And like Orisa pulls together with the Roadhog hook can also screw up your day. So against Bunker, I would not recommend it. But other than that, go ahead.
Doomfist is a big int in the Bunker because
Yep.
Hog hard counters Doomfist, the rest as well. But against Ryan, like 2-2-2 with Ryan, Doomfist is fucking amazing, and dive as well.
Yep. Can we do a review from Hitscan player tonight? No, not tonight. Tomorrow we're gonna do DPS players.
Braven.
Yes, tomorrow Braven's gonna join me for some Hitscan review.
Be careful, boys. 4.2 peak incoming.
And he calls himself the no brain only aim type. So it's gonna be interesting to see how good he is at giving tips to others.
Yikes, dude. I remember whenever my coach was like that. Whenever I played DPS, he was just like, if only you clicked the head here. That's a very helpful advice.
Yeah.
So I was gonna take the high ground there. That's why I'm playing so far back, but then I decided not to.
Okay.
Playing Zen at this point is
Yeah, it's very difficult.
Very bad.
it's very awkward.
Yeah, Ardio's here. Sucks.
So you see a monkey like pushing the payload, not very good. You need to get like high ground and stuff, or else you're not gonna be able to do much.
Torb magically wins the 1v1 versus a Doomfist.
But Torb
Torb is actually decent against Doomfist. Like he can pop his E to survive most of Doomfist damage, and when Doomfist is close to him, you right click him for like 200 DPS. It's pretty dangerous.
They were also by coast, so Doomfist could have just memed him off the map, to be honest.
Yeah.
If he really
But-
wanted to.
like Torb is like the strongest 1v1 character. It's actually insane how good Torb is in 1v1ing.
So we got a pick on the Hanzo, he gets rest, but now we have started moving the payload. And this is usually where teams struggle a lot on Gibraltar, because this part of the map is really weird. Unless you snowball from the first fight. Oh, no, shit.
I was trying to play the pillar so I could avoid it, but
I was just gonna say, stand
Right
a
on top
little
of
bit
it.
closer
Yeah.
to the corner or to the pillar. You need to actually hug it like really tight, and keep just spinning around it in a circle. He can only be in his ultimate for 6 seconds, so he already wastes like 3 seconds just getting to you. So just spinning around this one for 3 seconds would probably keep you alive. You were a little bit too far away from the pillar. Need to hug it.
need to go back to my MMO days and just pillar fuck, I guess.
Yeah.
Good old times, dude.
The Wolverina. kiting people around pillars. Super fun.
Pillar humping as a paladin, dude.
Good shit. I thought this game got better when you ranked up. No, definitely not.
No, it gets worse.
ELO hell exists all the way up to rank 1.
No.
I kept telling him to go.
What do you mean no?
Because-
It's just you who are bad, Jojo. That's why.
What do you mean? I hear top 500 people complain about games being shit all the time.
Well, it's not ELO hell, it's just EU ladder being garbage.
Yeah, okay, EU ladder then.
NA ladder is just bad players, but EU ladder is just good players being Pepega.
Yeah, but exactly. That's how the lower ranks are too. It's just bad players being Pepega instead. Everyone is Pepega. It never ends. Doesn't matter if you're high or low rank. If you want the real Overwatch experience, you need to go into scrims, get a team, start scrimming, and actually try to understand how team comps work, and understand how the characters mesh together, so that you can actually utilize the kits.
Scrims are really nice because I know that my main support won't just completely leave me for no reason.
Yes.
That's why I play so passive in ranked, because I'm always like monka s about my other support leaving me.
It depends on the server. EU tends to be a lot more toxic and more throwers, bad role switching, but at NA people tend to communicate harder. Yeah, that's true. I do play on NA sometimes when it's like late night, and people definitely talk way more there than EU.
There's also no real language barrier,
Yeah.
so it's nice.
But generally, NA tend to just not be as good.
Yeah, NA players are like, look at this VOD. Yeah, this is bad, and I'm in master. I'm in high masters for some reason.
Like generally, like high as like CM. When I play an NA, right, people like the games I get are not very good. Like the players are like in EU is 4.2 players on Smurfs, or like 4.4 players on Smurfs, like consistent. People don't play on my main, on their main, but NA is like 4.2 players, Warrior 4.2 players. So there's people on their like mains consistent. So they're worse, but they're not toxic, cause they're not playing in the Smurf, and they can feel big and ballsy.
This
Yes.
is where I get legitimately frustrated whenever our Ash decides to go Junkrat.
Yes, so this is usually where people have a lot of trouble getting through, because the map geometry is a little bit weird, and the way the payload moves is unlike any other map. Like, you have it going below some kind of stupid fucking cave, and there's a weird high ground above it, and most people don't really know how to react or how to do this shit. And what would be the best way to explain this? Do I open up Stat Banana? I think I do. Let's see. Stat Banana.
At this point, I kept asking our tanks to go Ryan's area because we just weren't coordinating anything. And both of our
You
DPS
definitely want to
can't do
play
anything
Winston Diva on Gibraltar.
Yeah, but I mean, for the general comp, like, we
Let's see.
have 2 DPS that can't really go in with our tanks, and our tanks weren't really calming anything. So I just asked them to take the straight up Ryan versus Arya versus them, but they didn't listen.
So, usually, most teams can at least get the payload through this area, like as you know, and especially in like the lower ranks, a lot of people are gonna set up over here because they want to shoot the enemy team ASAP, and they want to see the red people as soon as possible. And this area is, I guess it's okay to maybe look for an initial pick, but nothing more than that. Usually, you want to disengage ASAP if you're defending Gibraltar, and hold around this area. And the reason you're doing this is as soon as the payload here, can I move the payload? I can't move the payload, whatever. As soon as the payload gets to this area, you can try and go for some kind of soft engage, or if you manage to hit some kind of ability like an anti-nade, or maybe your long range damage dealers gets a pick, you can try to take a fight over here. So you just want to be ready for an opportunity to arise. So as an attacker, what do you want to do to get your payload safely through this area? Usually it is having one support like you, the Zen, as you did at the start. Just sit on the payload for until it gets to this corner, and then when people can actually shoot you, that's when you want to have your tanks do what is called a soft dive. So Winstons or Divas and whatever, they're going to be jumping up here, they're going to pop their cooldowns, the Winston bubbles, the defense matrixes, and that is going to buy enough time for you to push the payload this little distance here and get it below the high ground. And you managed to do that, but then the next part where people usually get stuck is right here. And this is because it becomes a little bit difficult to push the payload, since they are usually going to have a lot of people setting up on these high grounds in these areas here. And if you just mindlessly stand on the payload, they're going to shoot you from 4 different angles, and you're going to have a lot of trouble. They're going to drop down on you and start deleting you from angles that you can't deal with. Unless you're playing goats, of course. If you're playing goats, you want them to come to you, you just stand on the payload and you don't give a shit. But if you're playing dive, you need to be a little bit more creative. And in the higher rated scrims, and even in like the pro games, a long time ago though, when people play dive on this map, you would see a lot of people play and fight around this blue box right here. And the reason for that is because you want to get control over this high ground area, and in turn evolve that control into controlling the server room as well. So you're fighting for map geometry here. You're fighting for space. You're not fighting for the payload. The payload doesn't matter. As soon as you've gotten it to this area, you don't give a shit about the payload anymore. You just want to fight for map control and try to win a team fight out of that. So usually you want to send all of your heroes up to the high ground together as 6. Like as soon as you get the payload to this area, I usually just disengage and completely abandon the payload and set up like right here on the high ground, go back, set up here around this corner, and then go for some kind of either like soft dive onto this blue box right here. So let's see if we can get a better angle on the actual VOD with that. We're always under it. Okay, whatever. Oh, here. This is actually perfect. There, we're actually doing it here, kind of.
Yeah, I asked if we can take blue box.
Yeah, so here we
Farm
actually get blue box control, and they have Ryan in the server room. They have is that a brig, and the diva and something. So this is actually perfect. Now we have managed the first step to taking Watchpoint A, which is getting blue box control, and then we want to go to the next step, which is staging a dive. So usually you're gonna have one of the supports like either standing up on this high ground over here, or maybe down on the forklift, or in the server room. Like that, those are the usual support positionings that you're gonna see on this map. And after you've taken control of a blue box, all of your ranged damage dealers, like the Zenyattas, like the Annas, like the Widowmakers, they want to set up somewhere around in this area, maybe around the blue box or just on this little platform right here. And you can even push in right here as a Zenyatta if you know your tanks are going to dive their supports that are over here. But then that means you're going to have long range damage dealers that can see this part of the map. And if you move forward or if you take the blue box, you're even going to be able to see the high grounds and the rest around the forklift. So now you have map control, you have the advantage, you have an opportunity to set up a dive and hopefully get some kind of ult going to clean up the fight. So let's see, you don't really have ultimates.
Keyword is hopefully.
Yes, keyword is
Except
hopefully.
we get I think we just get dragon and someone dies and then everything falls apart.
So you don't really have any team wipe ultimates. Usually when you play dive on this map, you want to play Widow Genji dive, because that way you have the Genji to assist with the actual dive, and then the Widow is only there as area denial. So like the Widow standing up here and looking down makes it completely impossible for the enemy team to be standing in this area right here. So
Our monkey in this, I think he is. If it's the VOD that I think it is, I'm pretty sure he was saying that he's farming for primal and not just looking for a dive.
okay.
So he's playing it like it was floats instead of just dive.
Okay, yeah, I see. Well, you have a Torb that makes it really hard.
Yeah, that's also.
You don't have the follow-up damage. Like you don't have enough follow-up damage to kill in a neutral dive. If they play it correctly, of course. Of course, you can always get a kill even as a solo monkey if they fuck up. But if the defensive supports are playing correctly, you're not gonna get a kill unless you have the primal. And yes, that turret is very good. But okay, let's see what happens here. Let's see. They pop nano on nothing, and our diva drops and dies. And you're okay. Did they dragon the widow? Yeah, they dragon the widow.
Yeah, they try.
Yeah, she drops down, and he has the sonic arrow probably. Okay, that was a pretty good dragon. But the issue is, like, do you see how effective you as a player has been in this team fight? You've done pretty much nothing at all.
Yeah.
And that is due to your very, very, very defensive positioning. And once again, like as I showed earlier, this is the position you want to have. When as soon as the first jump has started, you want to be able to see something. Oh shit, misclick. You want to be able to see something and be able to discord it and shoot people. Get that trance going. So the Ryan just kills himself casually. Almost get the Doomfist. That was really close. But it is over. It is over. So the next step now, the next step is it's still the exact same thing. You still want to take control over that high ground, the blue box, and set up a dive. If we look at the heroes they have, like what would you say is a good dive target right here? We have really trash damage dealers though, but it's still winnable. Like you still have primals, you can still go pretty hard into. Is that Slay or is it Chroma doing?
That's me. If I was a tank, those are the people that I would be looking to jump on.
Okay.
Because Doom can get away, Mercy can fly away, Diva, and Ryan can just get pocketed.
Yeah, good shit. Good shit. We have primal, so indeed, like these targets are the players with the least mobility, and they are also fairly like high priority targets since it's an Ana, the main source of like burst healing, and also their main source of damage and burst damage. So definitely these guys are the guys you want to kill, and you have primal ready, so you can definitely go some kind of all in right here. And hopefully these guys will also go all in. It is definitely okay here to tell your teammates, maybe they can't play Genji, whatever, who cares? They can at least, maybe he can do some kind of mine jump play and try to help with some sustained damage. And same with the Torb.
Yeah, because we were playing kind of timid, I just said, all right, we're gonna transpush the Ana in server room.
Okay.
And we do, but we don't actually commit to it.
Ah, unlucky. Well, then that is a pretty decent game plan. But you can also do it the other way around, which is let your monkey solo primal the Ana, because he's usually gonna be able to either kill her by himself or at least boop her away so much that she can't heal anyone at all. And then you can utilize the trance together with the rest of your teammates to swarm around maybe the Reinhardt or something, since Reinhardt is fairly immobile if you manage to swarm him around. Can we now swap the Widow? Yeah. Are angry Russians a thing here in OW? No. I have never heard an angry Russian in Overwatch. Actually crazy.
I've heard one whenever I played main support. And I played on EU, but
Interesting.
I played a lot of games on EU, so it was like 1 in 100.
Okay, we tried to take the high ground, but where's? Oh, we don't have the Diva mech. Okay, I see. That's why it doesn't work. So yeah, Monkey tries to jump up without Diva defense matrix. He gets bursted. The baby Diva gets mech back, and our Mercy feeds. Unlucky. Yeah, this is a lost team fight. Like, there's no reason to even stand here anymore. We lost. We go back. We regroup. Like, the faster you can recognize lost team fights and the faster you can regroup and try again as 6 is extremely important when you're attacking. You want to get as many 6 versus 6 team fights as possible, and the ability to recognize lost team fights and regrouping fast is it's actually really, really important.
Do me.
Heroes never die.
Do me. Hello? Divide. Tell me.
Yeah, the issue with this is that you were on the low ground, and you didn't take control over the high ground area beforehand, which meant that they had Doomfist, they had Hanzo, they had people on the high ground just completely zoning out the rest of the team. So it wasn't really their fault that they didn't commit to this trance, because they couldn't. Like they were zoned out by these other people. And that's why taking control over the high ground before the dive is so important. You can't do an effective dive without doing that step first.
Dive's not working.
Yeah, well, Gulanka, come back tomorrow. We're gonna look at some DPS heroes. It's gonna be amazing. We take Lucio to get back to the fight faster. That's fine. I'm testing the Ana. It's also fine. But now we lose the game. So yeah, I would say like the biggest issue with your Zen gameplay so far has just been your extremely defensive positioning. Like you can't get any value at all if you're always standing so far behind. You need to like test your limits and push them as far as possible. Like if you watch all the like very famous, Jonak, like he's ultra fucking famous for his super aggressive flanks where he just kills 3 people by himself. Like that's how strong Zen is. You can, with the right mechanical skill, apply some insane damage. But if you're standing super far back and you can't see anyone, then you can't apply that damage anywhere. So if you're serious about getting good with Zenyatta, you gotta test your limits. You gotta try to not really flank, but you gotta try and actually be able to apply damage in the team fights.
Yeah, I've been looking, now that I've been playing for longer, I've been looking for actual, like, plays where I can just straight up kill 2 people and try and just win the fight out of that. And it's been going actually pretty well since people in Masters just don't realize who's in their backline ever.
Good shit. Because your harmony, when you could actually see people, the harmonies were like decent. You were discording people that your teammates were shooting, and you called them out. I assume, since I saw your icon come up there when you discorded people, and your chances were actually not that bad at all. So just if you know you're gonna go for one of those like snapback trances where you want your team to go aggressive with it, just a little bit of warning beforehand is gonna make a lot of difference.
Yeah,
I think those are the biggest things. Do you have any comments, Slay?
No, not really. I think it's like generally very true. One thing I noticed, like from just seeing it, is that like harmony placement are not the sharpest. They're fine like 90%, like 70% of the time. But as I also pointed out, like the top, like harmony at the top before like starting to shoot is like amazing, because you should be able to put in that harmony up while you're shooting easily without like canceling your like shooting animation as well. So like also the Junkrats, like before he jumped in the dragon, right, you could easily orb the Junkrat as well. I saw that as well. Like the harmonies were okay like most of the time, but all the clips that we saw, like we ran over the also the first one, was it the one of the first fights when you drop, you had the orb on top for very long when the diva was taking damage. So like I can show. Can I
Yeah, I have a
Oh yeah,
bad habit
you
of-
have control. Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
I have a bad
I
habit
hear
of autopiloting.
Like here, the top doesn't take damage at all. The diva is taking damage up here,
Ah, yeah.
and the orb stays on for so long, right? Like this diva might have stayed alive, but probably not since they primed the nano the monkey. But diva staying alive a few seconds more could have made a difference. Probably not in this fight, but just generally
Yeah,
they can change fights heavily if
for sure.
you slip in that healing consistently and always pulling in orbs all the time. Like if you just see someone, fucking discord them instantly. Don't start shooting before like the discorded element, because like discording and shooting should be instantaneously, right? It's something you do at the same time, so you can discord and then mouse one at the same time. It basically doesn't like it's the same animation basically, so you don't really waste too much time.
I
So
usually do that unless like my tanks call something, and I'll leave Discord on them on the person that they're calling, so I can farm trance, but they also have the Discord.
Yeah,
To kill whoever that they're
that's
playing on?
absolutely fine. Well, especially in
I-
goats, that's a big thing where you leave it
Yeah.
on the Rhine for the most part.
I mean, just I have a real bad habit of just autopiloting and not actively thinking about what I'm doing.
I think it's
Like I'll
Right.
just
But like the discords weren't really a big problem at all.
Yeah.
It's only like the harmonies that I always saw. It's like harmony orbs and sun is like really important. Like,
yeah.
extremely important. Like the amount of healing you do on top of your like damage, you're gonna farm trances so insanely fast.
Yeah, the priority is always a person that will in the like very near future take damage. So always the one that is in the most danger. If
Okay,
if
like-
someone's
Yeah,
out of
that's why
danger
I
and like
don't-
hiding around the corner, you instantly swap that harmony off that person, because your other healers that have more sustained healing will take care of that when they have time.
Yeah.
Like for example, as I said here, like you should in this time frame here, you should instantly orb your junk as the first thing, because like shooting the monkey is gonna be second priority after, because you're a healer, like after all, like, and the orbs doesn't take like anything, like it's what is it, like half a second or something where you can like shoot. It doesn't really affect you too much, but it helps you like way more. So like orbing the junkie could have made a change. He maybe might not have fucking mined out if he knew he was getting healed.
Yeah.
And it could have made him like more secure, because the monkey doesn't have primal anymore. So the monkey is like way more vulnerable. So if the junk didn't jump out with the mine here, he would have died. So the monkey knowing, like the junkrat knowing that you have him is gonna make a difference. You can also like tell the junkrat that you got him, like I'm on you junkrat, and then he's gonna go in the monkey.
Yep.
So calling that you're helping them, like it's same with Brigida and like other characters. If you're helping or you're peeling, just telling people, because it's really hard when you're tunnel visioning on a target when you're getting dough, for example. It's really hard to know if your loser is peeling for you. Like you're gonna expect your losers to be peeling, but like sometimes it's not gonna happen, and then you're gonna get screwed over.
Yep, just
you're like-
reassuring your teammates that you're helping them is insane. Always call that shit out.
Got it.
But yeah, so, about your you said that you had a bad habit of like autopiloting in game. To help you with that, I would suggest. Let's see, maybe pick.
I've tried to plan out fights more.
Yeah.
just-
You can do some of that, but I think what's more easier to do is just pick one or two like goals or things you want to do in the next few games, things you want to improve, or things you want to work on, and then keep repeating it. You can even repeat it like loudly if you want. It's fine to just do it in your head, but you can even like talk to yourself and just keep constantly repeating the thing that you want to work on, and that way you're gonna force yourself to remember it and do the things. That's a pretty decent way to force yourself out of autopiloting. So if for example like harmony placement is gonna be the next
Yeah,
thing
just
that,
say,
that
like,
you work on, like just keep
Actively focus on Harmony Orb and like
Exactly.
tell myself about it.
Keep reminding yourself. You could even I know that some people do that. They put like a sticky note on the computer in front of them with like a big letters harmony exclamation point or something. It can definitely help remind you in the middle of the
Never
game
thought about that.
if you ever get into autopilot. So for sure, for
Alright.
sure.
All right, thanks, guys. I have a scrim now, so I have to dip.
Okay, yeah. Good luck and have fun. I hope it was helpful. And until next time, just bring me a VOD whenever you feel like it.
Yeah, I actually have one that I'll upload tonight. I think from
Okay.
last night. All right, see
Good
you
shit,
guys.
good shit. Good luck and have fun. So next up, we have Dino then.